Hi, my name is Brittany Winningham, and I am going to discuss the domains and the components that are connected with the process of curriculum design. There are four main domains that are correlated with curriculum design. The first one's curriculum, then assessment, standards, and the instruction. In the next few slides, I'm going to discuss each domain and how each one influences the others. First is curriculum. Curriculum consists of lessons and academic content that is taught either in schools, courses, or other programs. Curriculum is also the knowledge and skills that students are expected to learn. When looking at and choosing or designing curriculum in the schools, it should include the following: the state or national standards that are associated and are expected for students to achieve, projects and assessments and assignments that are given for students to complete. The materials used to help present curriculum is also included, such as books, presentations, videos, and readings. Assessments is also aligned to help see the success in student learning of the curriculum as well. Now we're going to look at what assessment is. Assessment is also the key part of curriculum design. It ultimately helps evaluate student learning and checks for their understanding. One way to see student achievement at a national or state level is the use of standardized tests. Although teachers tend to teach to the test, it's of the few assessments that we are able to compare with other schools as well as other states to see how students are learning in their classrooms. Another way is the use of rubrics for project-based learning students do in the classroom setting. This gives a clear expectation for students to accomplish during a task. They are also a good resource for teachers to give feedback to students on their task as well. Summative and formative assessments in the classroom are also helpful to evaluate student learning during instruction as well as at the end of a unit or a lesson to help evaluate to see how well students understood the lesson and to see if they're ready to move on to the next part. Now we're going to talk about what the standards do with curriculum design. Standards help with the alignment of curriculum. They can be adopted through the state, district, or school levels. When new standards are adopted, teachers usually modify what they teach to help better align with the curriculum. For example, when Common Core was implemented, teachers had to go back on their lessons and units, and as well as the school to do with the curriculum to design it to meet the standards of Common Core. Standards also give schools the expectations of what students need to understand and to be able to apply on their own in the classroom and real life situations as well. Our final component is instruction. Instruction is the delivery of the content that is in the curriculum. When you think about instruction, it is the planned interaction between the teacher and their students. Delivery of this content involves various strategies that help meet the needs of all the students and to help them further in their understandings of the content that is in the curriculum. How does each domain interact? All four components or domains play their roles in curriculum design, as well as they interact with each other. Standards set up what is expected of students. Curriculum is the units and lessons created to align with the standards. The instruction is the delivery of the content from the curriculum. Then assessment evaluates students' understanding, and the assessment can also show the success of the lessons or units and the areas that they may need to go back and revise for future use. Let's think about it. Is each domain equal players in their part of curriculum design? Although they all play a major part in curriculum design, they may not always play equal parts when developing them. There are several different models that schools use to design their curriculum for their units. In our reading about the UBD, throughout each stage, I felt that they emphasized more of the standards and keeping in mind their goals than other aspects of like the actual curriculum or the assessments. Although they too played a big part, even in those sections, they always made you focus more on the standards or the goals in mind for the success of the students. What is the driving force in curriculum design? There are several forces that drive and influence the design process, four of which include diversity, politics, history, and data. There is lots of diversity in schools and in the classrooms. The curriculum needs to be designed to challenge all the students at every level, but yet be able to attain interest and be able to motivate their learning. Politics have always played an influence in the design in which schools are required to listen and implement some of the ideas that are given to them from those state or national levels. Looking back at the history of curriculum helps revise and modify what teachers need to teach during instruction. And looking back at the school data can also help schools see if they need to implement new curriculum or change aspects of the curriculum that they have used before or previously done in the past. When you design curriculum, you need to go through a certain process. Below is an example of a mapped out process of how to design curriculum in the school. First, you need to assess why you need to change or revise the curriculum. This is basically your whys and your reasons why it needs to be changed. Then you need to develop a rationale of how you can change it. Afterwards, you design your goals and specific objectives that you want your students to achieve during the lesson. Then teachers select teaching methods to help present their content and evaluation strategies to see if students gained an understanding of the content that was taught to them. Afterwards, they develop a management plan and implement their teaching and evaluation strategies. Once that has been completed, everyone will review the data from the evaluations that were given during the lessons. From those evaluations, revisions are made to the curriculum for the next year, and they can either revise only certain aspects or they can create a whole new curriculum that would work better for their students to obtain and learn. Are there any missing factors in curriculum design? There are some factors that you may overlook or find missing when developing curriculum. We need to consider the budget and what is available every year. Sometimes programs are implemented and some are taken out, and thus we need to revise our curriculum to meet our students' needs whenever these revisions take place. We also need to provide development for our teachers, which is also provided in the budget, to make sure they are up to date on their skills so that they can teach the content to the best of their abilities to the students. Another thing we need to keep in mind is time. Teachers and other staff members need to keep in mind the amount of time it takes to develop the curriculum and form units and lessons with it. Also, a factor to keep in mind is the ability of the students. Curriculum needs to be chosen to help to meet their needs of the students and that would help them reach their understanding. We need to make sure that this allows them to be challenged, yet make sure they are able to obtain those goals and achieve those standards to their very best of to their abilities. Thank you for listening, and I hope this presentation has shown a clear understanding of curriculum design.